Good morning, students. So, in the last class, we discussed about dot product of the vectors and the properties of the dot product and some applications of the dot product we discussed in our last class. And so now in today's class, let us see the second type of this product of the two vectors. So, it is nothing but this cross product of these two vectors here. So, cross product, or that is also said to be vector product. So, vector product or cross product of two vectors. Right? And so now, as we discussed in our previous class, the cross product of two vectors gives a vector quantity, another vector quantity here. Suppose I am taking this is A bar and B bar, these two vectors are inclined at an angle theta with each other, and both the vectors are lying in that same plane. Now, the cross product of these two vectors will give another vector whose direction is perpendicular to these two vectors, or perpendicular to the line, perpendicular to the plane containing those two vectors. So, dot product will give a scalar, but this cross product will give a vector quantity. So, it is giving a vector quantity means we should also define the direction of that vector. So, first I am saying the direction, about the direction. The cross product of these two vectors will give another vector. The direction of that vector will be perpendicular to the plane containing these two vectors, right? If these two are lying in this plane, then cross product of those two vectors will be out of the plane you will get, right? And so now here its magnitude and direction, that means it can be defined like this. Now cross product of these two vectors A bar cross B bar is equal to the product of magnitudes of the two vectors and sine of the angle between them, and into n cap. So this n cap is nothing but actually this perpendicular to the plane containing, unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing those two vectors here, the meaning of that n cap. So it is a cross product of these two vectors. It gives another vector. Let it be some C bar here. Suppose I am taking it as some C bar. That C bar will be equal to magnitude of this product of these two vectors and sine of the angle between them. So that is mod of this A bar cross B bar. You can write this as AB sine theta. We can write. That is the magnitude of that vectors. So write that cross product of two vectors gives another vector. Two vectors gives another vector which is perpendicular to the plane containing those two vectors, and whose magnitude is equals to product of magnitudes of the two vectors and sine of the angle between them. So write this. We are assuming that third vector or the new vector as C bar. That C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar. That is equal to AB sine theta into n cap. So here mention that about this n cap. So n cap is a unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing those two vectors. And so next see to find the direction of this A bar cross B bar. So then actually here we are saying perpendicular to that. Perpendicular to this plane means then two directions are possible here. It may be like out of the plane or it may be into the plane. So whether it is out of the plane or into the plane means now we need to decide that. So for that we can use different rules to find the direction of this cross product of the two vectors. So simply first one I can write this, if suppose those two vectors are like this, if A bar and B bar are taken as like our previous diagram. So like I am taking this A bar is like this and a B bar is like this, both are lying in the same plane like this, right? And so now this A bar cross B bar direction means to find that we use the right hand. The basic rule is we use the right hand thumb rule here. So the right hand rule is nothing but we place the four fingers of our right hand parallel to the first vector. That means here we are finding the direction of this A bar cross B bar. We are finding the direction of this A bar cross B bar. So now this A bar cross B bar means here the first vector is our A bar. So we place the four fingers parallel to the first vector, right? So parallel to the first vector means that is A bar here, such that when we close them, when we close the four fingers, they should move towards the second vector. So here you can observe that here when we are closing these four fingers, that is those four fingers are moving towards this B bar here. So then thumb indicates the direction of this A bar cross B bar. So A bar cross B bar will be out of the plane. So parallel, that is the direction of this A bar cross B bar. Now parallel to this first vector means, like suppose if I am placing like this also parallel to the four fingers or parallel to this first vector only, right? But when I close these four fingers, whether they are moving towards B bar or away from B bar. So now they are moving away from B bar. B bar is above this A bar, but here now I am moving these four fingers. When I am closing that, those four fingers are moving away from B bar. Then this is not the correct position of finding the direction here. So that means now the thumb doesn't give the direction there, right? So that means that is the wrong position. So we should place the four fingers such that when we are closing them, they should move towards the second vector. So then A bar cross B bar, now if I am placing like this, then they are moving towards the B bar. So that A bar cross B bar will be, you can write say out of the plane here. So that is the direction of this A bar cross B bar. So out of the plane means simply I can represent with the dot. This notation you will get later in second year you will get. Generally for the out of the plane notation we will represent like a dot, and into the plane means simply we represent with the cross. Now for example, you may mention that A bar cross B bar then will be out of the plane. And suppose if I am finding the direction of this B bar cross A bar. In the same case, for example, now I am finding the direction of this B bar cross A bar. So now again our rule will be same. We should place the four fingers parallel to the first vector. Now our first vector is B bar. So now for example I am placing like this. Now the four fingers are parallel to this B bar. Now if I am closing this, these fingers are, now the four fingers are moving away from the second vector, like if I am placing like this. So then B bar plus A bar is not in this direction. You can't say that it is in this direction out of the plane, right? Because when I am closing the fingers, they are moving away from this second vector. So then we should place like this. The another possibility is now we should place like this. Then this is the correct position. Now we can observe this. When I am closing these four fingers, now they are moving towards this second vector A bar. And then the thumb indicates the direction of this B bar cross A bar, which is into the plane here. So then this B bar cross A bar will be into the plane. We can answer here. The direction will be into the plane, right? So that is a basic way of finding this direction of this A bar cross B bar. So mention that to find the direction of cross product of two vectors, we can use right hand thumb rule, which states that if we place four fingers of the right hand parallel to the first vector, such that when we close them, they should move towards the second vector. Then thumb indicates the direction of A bar cross B bar, or the cross product of two vectors. If the two vectors A bar and B bar lies in the plane of paper, then A bar cross B bar will be out of the plane. That is our conclusions from this rule here. And B bar cross A bar will be into the plane. And actually there is another rule to find the directions here, like how we are defining the angles. That method is nothing but like if you are defining this here the first vector is a bar here. So starting from this a bar, if you are defining the angle such that if our definition of this angle is if you are defining the from first vector to second vector, if I am representing the angle from first vector to second vector, if that angle is in anti-clockwise direction or counter-clockwise direction, then a bar cross b bar will be out of the plane, you will get counter-clockwise. So if the counter-clockwise means it will be like this, and a bar cross b bar will be out of the plane. If it is in clockwise direction, now in this case if I am observing here, now our first vector is b. Now we should represent the angle from b to second vector a. Now here this angle is we are defining in this clockwise direction, right? So then in that case we are defining this angle in clockwise sense means then the thumb will be indicates inward direction. So that means the b bar cross a bar will be into the plane. So like that also you can define there by defining the angle whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. So there we need to define always angle from first vector to second vector, right? So it is a way of finding these vectors here, direction of this cross product of two vectors. And now you can observe this from these two. When you are finding the a bar cross b bar direction and b bar cross a bar direction. So we are getting the conclusion like those directions are opposite each other, right? And so from that what we can conclude is a bar cross b bar is not equal to b bar cross a bar because the directions are opposite. We are getting that directions, both the vectors directions are opposite in direction, right? So but whereas in cross dot product we mentioned that a bar dot b bar and b bar dot a bar both are same only, but here they are different. We mentioned that property also, here itself just mention that. So after this conclusion mention that, therefore we can conclude that the direction of a bar cross b bar and a b bar cross a bar are opposite each other, but their magnitudes are same. Because magnitude means a bar cross b bar means we need to write ab sin theta, b bar cross a bar means we need to write ba sin theta, both are same only, right? But their magnitudes are same. Therefore a bar cross b bar and b bar cross a bar are anti-parallel vectors. A bar cross b bar and b bar cross a bar are anti-parallel vectors. Right? And here I am giving an example, simple example, find the direction so that you will get the clarity because the directions are important. Suppose I am giving the directions like a bar is towards east and a b bar is vertically upwards. Then find the direction of a bar cross b bar. A bar is towards east. So a bar is towards east and a b bar is upwards, vertically upwards. Find b bar and b bar cross a bar both, right? And then similarly, suppose this a bar is towards north and a b bar is towards west, then direction of a bar cross b bar, right? So the direction of a bar cross b bar we need to find. So just I will explain this example here, you can answer the second one easily. So a bar is towards east, so b bar is vertically up in the first example. So then a bar cross b bar means, so then a bar if you are taking like this, then our b bar will be like this. A bar and b bar let us take. This is a bar towards east and this is the b bar. So a bar cross b bar, then we should place the four fingers like this, right? So when we are closing them, they should move towards the second vector. Then automatically if you are placing like this, such that when you are closing them, they are moving towards the second vector means thumb will be opposite to this plane you will get. So we should place this right hand like that. The thumb should be opposite, perpendicular to the plane containing these two vectors. Then automatically when you are placing like this, you will get that arrangement here. The thumb is perpendicular to this plane, right? And so now here, if you are closing them, now we can observe that I am placing parallel to the first vector a bar. when I am closing them, they are moving towards second vector B bar. So A bar cross B bar is along this direction. So along this direction means you can say if this indicates the east direction, then this must be south, right? East, west, south, north. So this direction is towards south. So A bar cross B bar will be towards south, and B bar cross A bar will be towards north. You will get opposite in direction. So similarly, verify the directions also, right? And here after this just write a note there, so that after that I will discuss these properties here. The note is nothing but so this A bar cross B bar, let's suppose this I am taking this A bar cross B bar will give another vector. Suppose I am taking that as a C bar. Now can you answer like what is the dot product of A bar dot C bar? What is the dot product of A bar and C bar, where C bar is given by this cross product of those two vectors? Can you say this value? Or similarly like B bar dot C bar, this value is 0 because A bar is perpendicular to C bar and similarly B bar is perpendicular to C bar. So just mention that as a note. If just write this as if C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar, then A bar dot C bar and B bar dot C bar is equal to 0. In the last class we mentioned already two vectors are perpendicular, then their dot product will be equal to 0. So here these two vectors are perpendicular because we know already, just now we discussed that the cross product of two vectors is perpendicular to the plane containing those two vectors. So C bar is perpendicular to both A bar and B bar. So when you are finding the dot product of C bar with B bar or C bar with A bar, you will get 0. So write that as a note. So next let us see these properties here. Properties of cross product. So the first property we can write like about commutative law. We discussed already about this commutative law. Cross product doesn't obey the commutative because A bar cross B bar is not equal to B bar cross A bar. So A bar cross B bar is not equal to B bar cross A bar, right? This we discussed actually there, because they are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. But A bar cross B bar is equal to minus of B bar cross A bar. That means it does not obey the commutative law, but it is said to be anti-commutative. The A bar, the cross product of two vectors does not obey the commutative law, but it is an anti-commutative. And this is about the commutative. And next, similarly, to discuss about the distributive or addition. So like suppose if I am taking that as a second property here. So the distributive over addition, we can write this as A bar cross of B bar plus C bar is equal to A bar cross B bar plus A bar cross C bar, we can write. That means first you may add these two vectors and we can find the cross product with A bar, or you can find the cross product of A bar individually, then we can add them. The result will be same, right? And so that is a distributive or this addition. And next we can write this. The another properties now we can consider for the different angles. The cross product of two parallel vectors. So I can write this as cross product of two parallel vectors. So cross product of two parallel vectors means you know this theta value will be equal to 0 degrees, angle between two parallel vectors. So then that value we can write this as cross product of two parallel vectors means A bar cross B bar will be equal to AB sine 0 into n cap. So which is a 0 bar. That means A bar cross B bar will be equal to 0 bar or you can write this as a bar cross b bar mod of a bar cross b bar will be equal to 0. That means generally we talk about the magnitude only. So you can simply say that magnitude of cross product of those two vectors will be 0. And similarly, if they are taking like anti-parallel, if the two vectors are anti-parallel to each other, so like suppose I am taking like cross product of two anti-parallel vectors. Cross product of anti-parallel vectors. So anti-parallel means the angle between them is 180. That means they are opposite each other, so pi radians. So therefore this is again a bar cross b bar will be equal to 0. 0 bar, null vector, because again sin 180 is also 0. Or you can write its modulus, magnitude of this a bar cross b bar value will be equal to 0, we can write. That means when the two vectors are either parallel or anti-parallel, then their cross product of those two vectors will be 0. Next, if I am writing about normal vectors, if I am taking the two vectors as normal vectors, so it is cross product of two normal vectors. So if you are finding the cross product of two normal vectors, so the normal vectors means the angle between them will be pi by 2, 90 degrees. So therefore this a bar cross b bar will be equal to AB sin 90 into n cap. Therefore this a bar cross b bar will be equal to, I can write this as AB, we can write. This is magnitude. And this is AB into n cap, we can write. Vector. That means the magnitude of cross product of two vectors will be maximum when the two vectors are normal to each other. So this is nothing but our maximum value here. And when they are perpendicular, there is importance for this dot product here. Dot product of those two vectors will be 0 when they are perpendicular, and you will get the maximum when they are parallel. But here you will getting like this. And so next let us see this the product of the cross product of self vector. Cross product of self vector. So like suppose I am taking like a bar cross a bar is equal to, so a bar cross a bar means according to our definition a into, this is again a, into angle between self vector a bar and a bar is 0 into n cap, and therefore this a bar cross a bar is a 0 bar, or you can write this as a bar cross a bar, the magnitude of a bar cross a bar will be equal to 0. That means magnitude of cross product of self vector will be equal to 0, right? And based on this we can write this cross product of basic unit vectors now. Like if I write the cross product of I cap cross I cap, so I am writing like now I cap cross I cap. Then according to this you can directly answer this as 0. Like it may be a bar or any other vector. If you are finding the cross product with the same vector, then its value will be 0, because the same sign 0 you will get it as 0. So that means this value will be 0 bar. So similarly I am extending this. Similarly you can write j bar cross j bar is equal to k bar k cap cross k cap. So this value will be 0 bar, you can write. Simply we write it as 0 bar or 0. Its magnitude will be equal to 0. Next similarly let us write the cross product of the different vector with the normal vector like I cap and j cap, or j cap and k cap, let us see now. So let us see it as next point here, right? Now I am finding this the cross product of this other vector here. So I cap cross j cap, right? I am taking like this for example. Then this value is nothing but you can write this as according to our definition 1 into sin 90, because these two are perpendicular. Now the normal unit vector you need to write. So the normal unit vector is nothing but I cap is nothing but along x direction, j cap is along y direction. The normal to the xy plane is nothing but k cap, z axis. And so then we can write this as k cap And therefore finally what we can conclude is I cap cross j cap is equal to k cap we can write. And j cap cross k cap is equal to, in a similar way you can verify here, the normal to the j cap and k cap will be I cap you will get. And similarly this k cap cross I cap, so this vector will be plus j cap you will get. Now we can remember it easily like this. If I am taking this as suppose a I cap and j cap and k cap, if I am representing like this, if you are following this order I, j, k, I, if you are following this order, you will get the positive of this other quantity. Like if you are finding the cross product of k and I, then you will get plus j cap. If you are finding the cross product of j and k, then you will get plus I cap. So that is nothing but this. If you are following this order, I, j, k order like this, then you will get the positive vector. Whereas if you are taking this opposite order like this, j cap cross I cap if I am taking here, we know already a bar cross b bar is equal to minus of b bar cross a bar. So here if you are reversing this, then you should get this as minus k cap. You can verify with our directions there. And this is similarly k cap cross j cap is equal to minus I cap. And this is I cap cross k cap is equal to minus j cap. That means if you are reversing the order, then automatically a negative sign you will get. And so similarly I can represent this as I, j and this is k. Now if you are following this order here, reverse order, then you will get the negative signs. Like if you are taking I cap cross k cap, minus j cap you will get, but whereas k cap cross I cap plus j cap you will get. So it is a basic vectors, cross product of the basic unit vectors you can represent like this. And this is important only to find the cross product of the two vectors, then this basic rules are important for that. Now let us take the two vectors in components form and let us write those cross product of those two vectors here. Like suppose I am taking it as an x point here. That means like let us express the two vectors in components form. With I, j, k components form let us express here. So let if a bar is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap, and b bar is equal to bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. If you are taking the vectors in that form, then a bar cross b bar can be expressed as, so if you are writing directly if you are multiplying the each term you can multiply like I cap cross I cap 0 you can substitute from our previous discussion. When you are getting I cap cross j cap you can write k cap, and if you are getting like k cap cross I cap you can substitute that j caps like that. But it will be a lengthy process. So for that what we will use is generally we use the determinant here. So in that we write the first row as I, j, k basic unit vectors, and the second row as the coefficients of I, j, k of the first vector here. Here the first vector is a bar. So then coefficients of I cap, j cap and k cap we need to write here. Along with the sign you need to write. If any negative sign is there, negative sign also need to substitute here. So then it is ax, ay and this is az. And the next row has the coefficients of the second vector, b bar we need to write. So it is bx, by and bz. And just find the determinant of this. I think majority of you know this finding. I am finding like I cap into. So now this I cap into, what we need to write is, when you are writing this, we need to neglect this column and this row. Only now these 4 are there. So that 4 first we need to multiply this order and then this order. So when you are writing this order minus this order we need to write. That means we need to multiply these two terms. So that is ay into bz minus, next to these two terms you need to write by into az. Next minus. So for j cap always you need to write that negative sign. Finally it may be positive or negative, that depends on those numericals. But while writing you need to take that negative sign. And that you will get in mathematics, you will get in detail why we need to take that negative sign there. In In mathematics, you will get that information. So just here remember, we need to take the negative sign for this j cap here. Now when you are writing the j cap coefficients, we need to neglect this column and this row. And so then if you are neglecting this column, then remaining these two and these two will be there. So first you need to multiply this down like this. So then it is ax bz, these two, minus this up direction we need to multiply here, minus bx az plus k cap. So for the k cap we need to take the positive sign only. Only for the j cap we need to take the negative sign. Similarly, when you are writing this k cap, you need to neglect this row, this column and this row. Then only now these four are there. So we need to first multiply it down, ax and by minus this up, bx and ay, right? And therefore that is nothing but our cross product here. If numericals are given, you can simplify that. So that means now we can observe that cross product of two vectors will give say another vector. So I cap, j cap and k cap terms are there here, right? So basing on that you can find the cross product of the two vectors. And next here let us see one example based on this, so that you will get the more clarity about this, finding the cross product of these vectors. So I am taking this example. If a bar is equal to 2i cap minus j cap plus 3k cap and b bar is equal to I cap plus 2j cap minus k cap, then find a bar cross b bar. So you need to find the cross product of those two vectors there, if a bar and b bar values are given like that. So then first what we need to do is we need to write this determinant here. So a bar cross b bar is equal to I cap, j cap, k cap. Next we need to write the coefficients of I cap, j cap and k cap of the first vector. So first vector is a bar. So then it is 2, here minus 1, along with the sign we need to write 3. And next similarly coefficients of the second vector 1, 2 and this is minus 1. Next we need to proceed like that. So then I cap into, so we need to neglect this column and this row, we need to multiply these two. So minus 1 and minus 1, 1 you will get, minus, then these two terms we need to multiply, that is 6, minus j cap. So this always we need to write initially negative sign, finally it may be positive or negative, that depends on those numericals. So now we need to neglect this column and this row, so we need to multiply these two. So minus 2 and this minus we need to write here, minus 1, minus 3, 1 into 3 means. So plus k cap into, now we need to neglect this column, these 4 will be there, so first we need to multiply this down. So 2 into 2, 4 and minus of this, minus of minus 1 you will get here. And so now let us simplify this, minus 5 I cap and this is plus 5 j cap, and now here it is plus 5 k cap. So this is a cross product of those two vectors here, a bar cross b bar, right? There is a cross product of those two vectors here. Now you may check like find the b bar cross a bar, then you should get the same components with the opposite sign. Like here you should get minus is there and plus I cap, minus 5 j cap, minus 5 k cap you should get. So verify that. Just first these components we need to write and second a components we need to write like this. So that is a product of this two vectors, that means cross product of the two vectors, finding the cross product of two vectors if the components are given like this, right? And next let us see the applications of this cross product here. So now let us see these applications of cross product of these vectors. So the first one I am writing like area of parallelogram. That means with the help of this cross product of the two vectors, you can find the area of the parallelogram. And so that area of the parallelogram means, suppose I am taking that with the A bar and B bar as the two sides of a parallelogram. If A bar and B bar, these two vectors are taken as the two sides of a parallelogram like this, such that theta is angle between them, right? Now, if you are finding the cross product of these two vectors, the magnitude of cross product of these two vectors will give the area of the parallelogram. And according to mathematics, you know the finding the area of this parallelogram here. If suppose this side, if I am taking it as h, then h value you can write this value as now this parallelogram we can write this as area of the parallelogram. Area of parallelogram. So that area of parallelogram you can write this as A into H you can write. The area of parallelogram is according to our mathematics. Mathematics formula is this base into this height you can write. And so now that height, by using the triangle, by using this right angle triangle, you can write that height as B sin theta you can write, where B is the magnitude of this side. So right, this H value you can write this as B sin theta, because by using this right angle triangle, you can say that this will be the opposite side, so that that value you can write as B sin theta. So then according to mathematics, we are getting like this. AB sin theta is the area of this parallelogram. But we know this AB sin theta is nothing but the magnitude of cross product of these two vectors. If these two vectors are inclined at an angle theta, therefore what we can write is area of parallelogram is equal to mod of A bar cross B bar we can write. That means if A and B are taken as the two sides of the parallelogram, then mod of A bar cross B bar will give us area of the parallelogram. So mention that let A bar and B bar be the two sides of two adjacent sides of a parallelogram as shown. If A bar, let A bar and B bar be the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram as shown. Then that is our formula here. We know area of the parallelogram is equal to, we can write area of parallelogram is equal to A into H. From triangle or from figure, we can write this A is equal to B sin theta. H is equal to B sin theta, you can write. Therefore, that is AB sin theta, area of parallelogram. So now we know, after completion of this cross product, we know that AB sin theta can be written as A bar cross B bar, we can write here, right? So then let us write this. And here sometimes they will give this. Instead of giving this adjacent side, sometimes they will give the diagonals. So now let us see that. So in that only, if suppose I am giving like, instead of giving this AB as a sides, then suppose if I am giving the diagonals of the parallelogram are known to us. If diagonals of the parallelogram are known to us, so let us see this. So mention that if C bar and D bar, or let us name them as R and S, because in parallelogram law we generally use them R and S. So write them as R bar and S bar. If R bar and S bar are the two diagonals of a parallelogram as shown in figure, then area of the parallelogram can be calculated as follows. So can you say how to find if diagonals were given for us? How to find this area? So according to our formula, these A and B should be the adjacent sides of a parallelogram. Then mod of this A bar cross B bar will give the area of this parallelogram. So this is also said to be the geometrical representation of this cross product of two vectors. So geometrically cross product of two vectors will represent the area of the parallelogram formed by those two vectors. And actually in second year, like in when we are discussing about Gauss law, and there we consider this area as a vector quantity. So that vector is nothing but now normal to this plane we consider here. If suppose A bar and B bar parallelogram is lying in this plane, then area vector is taken to be normal to that plane. So that means area we can treat that as a vector quantity also. That is nothing but this value here. So its magnitude is given by mod of this A bar cross B bar. Now if the instead of giving the sides, if diagonals are given, so then diagonals means we know that longer diagonal is nothing but we can write this as, so we know this, if suppose this value I am taking it as A bar and this value I am taking it as B bar for example, then R bar can be written as A bar plus B bar. The resultant of those two vectors is nothing but R bar, and the addition of those two vectors, and the subtraction of those two vectors is nothing but S bar. So S bar is equal to A bar minus B bar we can write. You know in parallelograms those two diagonals have the different significance. So longer diagonal will represent the resultant of those two vectors, which is nothing but addition of those two vectors, and the shorter diagonal will represent this subtraction of those two vectors here. A bar minus B bar will represent. So that means both the diagonals have the different meanings in that parallelogram. So that in parallelogram law we discussed already that. And so now we need to find this, suppose from this A bar and B bar value we can calculate here, right? So that means only R and S is given for us, we need to calculate this A bar and the B bar values. And so then we can calculate like this. Just let us find these values here. So just I am finding the addition of those two vectors. So 1 plus 2 will give us this B vector will be cancelled. So from this I can write this A bar is equal to R bar plus S bar by 2. That means 2A bar you will get. Therefore this B bar we can write this as if I am subtracting this 1 and 2. So from that we can write this value as R bar minus S bar by 2 we can write. And now from this calculate the area of parallelogram. Now therefore area of parallelogram we can write this as, so area of parallelogram is, from this previous point we know that A bar cross B bar is our area of parallelogram. And so now let us, here we can write this value as, so this is R bar plus S bar by 2 cross R bar minus S bar by 2 mod of. So that is what we need to simplify here. So we need to simplify that product now. And so now let us simplify this. So therefore this area of parallelogram we are calculating here. So from this what we can write this as 1 by 4 I am taking out there, 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Then R bar cross R bar plus, that means with this R bar just I am finding the cross product, like our distributive over addition we discussed there. So that property we can apply here. So first I am multiplying this R bar cross of this value. So then R bar cross S bar minus R bar cross S bar we can write. So that means with this R bar I multiplied this R minus S. And next similarly plus S bar let us multiply there. So then plus S bar cross R bar minus S bar cross S bar, right? So observe this, with R bar just we are multiplying, and similarly with S bar we are multiplying it. And we know the cross product of a self vector. Cross product of a self vector is 0. That property we already discussed. And then this you can reverse that vector here. That means this value I can write this as S bar cross R bar I can write here. That means this vector I am reversing that. When you are reversing this vector, you will get the plus sign here. Plus S bar cross R bar. This term I am writing as it is 0. Right? And so that this value is nothing but 1 by 4 into 2 of S bar cross R bar you can write here. And so therefore this area of parallelogram we can write this as so area of parallelogram is equal to 1 by 2 into S bar cross R bar you can write, because we are finding magnitude only, you know, magnitude of A bar cross B bar and B bar plus A bar both are same only. So R bar plus S bar you can write, or mod of S bar cross R bar you can write. So this is the cross product of the that means area of the parallelogram when diagonals are given. When two diagonals are given, then the cross product of those two diagonals, half of magnitude of cross product of those two diagonals will represent the area. So sometimes they will give the diagonals, so then you can directly use this formula here. You can find the cross product of those two diagonals, then divide with the 2. That gives the area of this parallelogram. So that is a way of finding the area of the parallelogram when two vectors are given. That may be the sides are given and then or diagonals are given. In a similar way, you can write the expression for this area of the triangle. So let us write now this area of the triangle. That means if two sides of a triangle are known to us, this is A bar and B bar. A triangle is formed like this. So a triangle is formed like this. Then let us write the area of the triangle by using our actually you can write directly by using our previous parallelogram law concept, or let us follow our procedure here. That means area of triangle I am writing by using our mathematics. So area of triangle is nothing but half into base into height. Right? So this height again let us take this as some h. And therefore this value can be written as half into A into h. So then half into A into h means again you can write by using this triangle you can write B sin theta. So by using the triangle h is equal to B sin theta you can write just by using the right angle triangle. And so now again this value we can write as, now again we are getting like AB sin theta. So AB sin theta means we can write this as mod of that. Therefore area of triangle is equal to half into mod of A bar cross B bar you can write. Got it? So that is the area of this triangle, or it is nothing but you can say that half of this area of the parallelogram you can write here, because if you are forming this complete parallelogram you will get like this. We are finding just half of that. So that means like that also you can say, or this is the general procedure for finding the area of the triangle. So from that our conclusion is, if A bar and B bar are the two sides, remember them, two sides. If A bar and B bar are two sides of the triangle, then its area of the triangle is given by half of magnitude of the cross product of those two vectors, right? And next let us write about some physical quantities will be there. We can define some physical quantities in terms of this cross product here. Like we define dot product applications like work done and power we define there. So similarly here we can define like some quantities, torque, or this is also called moment of force. And actually in detail we will discuss about the torque in rotatory motion topic. So just here let us learn about this definition here and how to find the torque by using this cross product rule. I think in our lower classes you may learn about the definition of the torque. So just here we need to learn the definition of the torque, and in detail about the torque we will discuss in the separate topic like rotational mechanics. So like here suppose I am taking the case a particle is there here. This is our coordinate system. Let us consider a particle is there here having some position vector r bar. Now a force is applied on this. Say a force is acting like this. A force F bar is acting like this is R bar. So F bar is acting like this. This is said to be line of action of this force, right? And so now because of this, suppose I am taking like this is one coordinate here, XY plane. Let us take here. Now this is a Z axis which is perpendicular to that plane. Now this particle P is lying in this plane here. The particle P is lying in that plane, XY plane. So now the Z axis is perpendicular to that. And because of this, like suppose here if particle is there, this is let us take origin and here particle is there. If you are applying a force like this, then this particle starts rotating about this, because if it is free to rotate about this axis here, Z axis, then the particle starts rotating here. So the turning effect produced by this force is nothing but we call it as a torque. The turning effect produced by the force. So torque is nothing but, or moment of force is nothing but the turning effect of this force, and it can be defined as the definition of this moment of this force is the product of magnitude of the force and perpendicular distance from the line of action of this force here. So this is normal, let us consider, and this angle is, let us take it as theta, right? And so that now this is our R perpendicular here. So that R perpendicular distance. So now this torque is defined as, therefore I can define this torque as torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. So write the definition in detail. The turning effect of the force is called torque or moment of force. Mathematically it can be defined as the product of force and perpendicular distance between line of action of force and axis of rotation. That means this axis or reference point you can consider. And so now from this you can write this R perpendicular is equal to R sin theta, you can write by using this right angle triangle. For this will be the hypotenuse and this is the opposite side. So opposite side, by using that right angle triangle you can write as R sin theta. So write this. So therefore this torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. And actually you can also define it in another way. We will discuss in detail, like by resolving the force into components, that you can discuss later. So then here this is, therefore this torque is represented with the symbol like this. We call it as tau. This is tau, TOW, and so then this is tau is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Therefore this perpendicular distance we can write this as R sin theta. So therefore this is FR sin theta we can write, right? So that is our torque definition here, or torque formula, where F is the magnitude of force, R is the distance of the particle from axis of rotation, and theta is the angle between R bar and F bar, right? And therefore now we can express this in vector form here. Therefore now we can write this as, because we know FR sin theta is the magnitude of cross product of R bar and F bar, right? Therefore we can write tau bar is equal to R bar cross F bar, we can write. So this is now, therefore the torque can be expressed as the cross product of position vector and the force. So R bar is called the position vector. So r bar is position vector and F bar is the force. So that means you need to remember, like, you need to write the torque as r bar cross F bar only. So because the torque direction is defined like this, r bar cross F bar, you can't write F bar cross r bar because we know already A bar cross B bar is not equal to B bar cross A bar. So you need to write this as r bar cross F bar only, right? So r bar cross F bar means from that we can define the direction of the torque will be along this axis of rotation. R bar is like this and F bar is like this. So that means I can represent F bar here, for example. So r bar cross F bar means by using our right hand thumb rule, r bar cross F bar will be along this direction. Like for example, r bar is like this, F bar is actually here. I am taking here for example. That means along this direction you may consider here. Now r bar cross F bar, r bar cross F bar will be along this z axis you will get. So that means that is perpendicular to the plane containing those two axes will be. So the direction of this r bar will be tau bar will be of rotation only. I think you know that this tau bar is nothing but axial vector. That means the vectors which we come across this rotational mechanics, rotating vectors, all those are axial vectors because they always act along the axis of rotation. So mention about the direction of this tau bar here, and its unit will be, you can write this unit as Newton meter. The unit of this torque will be Newton meter, SI unit. You can't write this as a joule because we say the reason like joule is related to energy, right? Because this torque is not related to energy here. It is something similar to that of force in linear motion. The torque will plays the same role as force in linear motion. Force in linear motion role is nothing but to start the motion or to stop the motion or to change the direction of motion. So similarly in rotatory motion, the role of this torque is to, if you want to rotate an object, then torque is required, or if you want to stop the rotating object, then torque is required. So the role of this torque is similar to that of a role of force in linear motion, right? And so that it is, we can't express it as in joule. So you should write that as a SI unit means you should write it as a Newton meter only. And then that is about this torque here. And you need to write this r bar cross F bar only. By using that you can identify the direction of this torque. And next here another quantity what we can write here is angular momentum. And just here about torque means you need to remember like this, and about in detail we will discuss in rotatory motion. Just here you need to remember it as torque as the, we can express the torque vector as the cross product of position vector and force vector. And similarly another axial vectors I am taking here, angular momentum. Angular momentum, and this also sometimes we call it as moment of momentum. You know about the linear momentum, then angular momentum. So linear momentum is force in, that means that velocity, mass into velocity, mv is called linear momentum. Now this angular momentum is the product of this linear momentum and the perpendicular distance. So write this. You can write this definition as angular momentum generally we represent with the L. And about this angular momentum also in detail we will discuss in rotatory motion only. Just here again we need to express like a cross product of two vectors here. So this is defined as linear momentum into perpendicular distance we need to write here. The linear momentum into perpendicular distance we need to write. If for example the linear momentum is along this direction, for example if a particle is moving like this, if a particle is having some velocity along this direction here, by making certain angle theta with this, theta not with the horizontal, let us take this momentum direction here. This is the direction of this linear momentum, which is mv bar, and this is the r bar, position vector of this particle. Now we need to find the perpendicular distance of this direction of this momentum here. Suppose this momentum is like this. This is the line of motion of this momentum. And let us draw this normal here. We are drawing some normal like this, so that this angle is 90 degrees here. Now this is our perpendicular distance here, r perpendicular. Suppose I am taking that this angle is theta. The angle between r bar and p bar is theta. So that this angle will be theta here. And so now again in this right angle triangle, this will be r bar is hypotenuse and this will be the opposite side. Therefore r perpendicular, again you can write this as r sin theta, you can write. Right? So is it clear? So this angle I am taking it as r bar is like this. This is r bar direction. So this is the direction of this r bar here, position vector direction. And a p bar I am taking like this. P bar is inclined at an angle theta with the r bar. That theta is angle between p bar and r bar here. And so now by right angle triangle you can write this will be the perpendicular distance there. So I can write this angular momentum as mv into r sin theta we can write. Therefore, again you can express this as a cross product of those two vectors we can write here. Therefore, I can write this as, therefore this angular momentum tau bar you can write this as m of m is a scalar quantity I am writing outside, r bar cross v bar you can write. Because now this cross product of these two vectors will give us another vector. The direction of that vector is nothing but the direction of this L bar here. So you can also express like that now. Or sometimes you may write this momentum vector directly you can write here. So or you can also express this as r bar cross p bar you can write, where p bar is a momentum, linear momentum of that particle. So just mention about that angular momentum. The angular momentum of a particle is defined as, the angular momentum of a particle is defined as the product of linear momentum and perpendicular distance of direction of linear momentum only. Momentum means direction of momentum from axis of rotation. You know, in circular motion, that angular momentum will be equal to mvr. I think in Bohr's theory you learned about that. Angular momentum in Bohr's theory, angular momentum of electron will write this as mvr is equal to nh by 2 pi, right? So that means that is that is nothing but this theta value will be 90 degrees in that case. If you are taking for example it as a circle, if the particle is revolving around a circular path, then r bar direction will be like this. And here the momentum, you know, it will be velocity or momentum will be along this tangential direction you will get. So this angle between them will be 90 degrees you will get. So this mv or sin 90 we can write, so that in case of circular motion you can write this angular momentum as mvr. So if it is there exists at an angle like that, then we need to write that angle there, right? And here mention is another point here, another application like relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity can be expressed like this. So write that relation. The relation between linear velocity and angular velocity can be expressed as so I am writing that relation directly here, so that directly you can write this as that relation v bar is equal to omega bar cross r bar you can write. The relation between linear velocity and angular, you can verify the direction here. If the particle is revolving like this, you know omega direction will be angular velocity, omega means. Angular velocity direction will be out of the plane, right? The direction of the angular velocity. And now if you find the direction of these two vectors here, that it should be equal to it should be in the direction of this velocity here. So then our first vector omega bar is like this and r bar is like this, position of that particle, position vector of this particle. So that means here what I can say is one vector is like this. This one is omega bar and this one is r bar here for this situation. For this situation I am saying here. This is omega bar r bar. Now omega bar cross r bar. Omega bar cross r bar means you can observe this, we are getting in upward direction. So that is nothing but our direction of this velocity here. So that this linear velocity, and we know the relation like V is equal to R omega relation. So that is nothing but this relation what we are writing here. Then that omega into R into sine 90 you will get. Sine 90 is nothing but 1. So that is nothing but V is equal to R omega. So that V is equal to R omega in vector form you need to express like this, right? So that is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity of a particle. So V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. So here observe this. For torque and angular momentum, R bar will be the first vector. And for this linear velocity, the R bar will be the second vector. That simply if the cross product of position vector and other vector is a linear vector, then R bar will be the second vector. Now we can observe that velocity is a linear vector. Linear vector means which we real vectors. Vectors totally can be defined classified into two types. Real vectors and pseudo vectors or axial vectors. Linear vectors or axial vectors. So that means now this torque and angular momentum are pseudo vectors or the axial vectors. They are always along axis of rotation only. And so if the resulting quantity is like an axial vector, like torque, angular momentum or angular velocity, then R bar will be the first vector. So that means in torque or angular momentum, if you are multiplying cross product of two vectors, if the resulting is a angular vector, then the R bar should be the first vector. If resulting is a linear, then R bar should be the second vector. So simply you can remember like that. And actually when you are coming to this rotatory motion, you will get the detailed definition of or detailed information about this angular momentum and torque here. Just here you need to remember that it can be expressed as a cross product of those two vectors. You need to remember, right? And another applications are there. I will complete those two applications also. Like we can find the angle between the two vectors again with the help of this cross product of these vectors here. So we can find the angle between two vectors. So angle between two vectors we already defined by using this dot product, right? Cos theta is equal to a bar dot b bar by ab we mentioned there. So similarly we can find this angle between two vectors with the help of this cross product also. So that means we know this mod of a bar cross b bar will be equal to ab sin theta, right? And therefore from this simply what we can write is sin theta is equal to a bar mod of a bar cross b bar by ab. A means magnitudes of those vectors. So that means that is the angle between those two vectors formula here. So similar to that cos theta, then sin theta can be expressed like this. Mod of cross product of those two vectors by magnitudes of those two vectors. But here generally if they are asking about the angles, then we prefer the dot product formula only, that means cos theta formula only, because that cos theta dot product we can find easily, but for this cross product it will take some time. We need to find the determinant, and by using the determinant we need to find the magnitude. So then we should find the theta values there, right? So that means whenever angle between two vectors if they are asking, then prefer that cos theta formula only, that means cos theta is equal to a bar dot b bar by ab, that means dot product formula only. But we can also find by using this cross product like this. Next, unit vector. Another application is unit vector perpendicular to a bar and b bar, or sometimes they will ask perpendicular to the plane containing a bar and b bar. That means we need to find a unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing a bar and b bar. So how to find a bar and b bar? So like simply I am taking that let c bar is equal to a bar cross b bar, right? So that means I am assuming that the cross product of those two vectors a bar and b bar will give another vector. That vector we are taking it as c bar. Now we know that c bar is So C bar is perpendicular to both A bar and B bar, right? So it is perpendicular to both A bar and B bar. So that means now if you are finding the unit vector of the C bar, that is nothing but our required quantity here. Unit vector perpendicular to both A bar and B bar means just find the unit vector of the C bar. Therefore, unit vector perpendicular to both A bar and B bar is equal to, that means that I can write it as simply C cap, so which is nothing but C bar by mod of C bar you can write. If you are finding unit vector of A bar, we know A bar by mod of A bar we need to write. So similarly it is just we need to find the unit vector of C cap, that means C bar, because C is already perpendicular to both A bar and B bar. So that can be expressed as C cap is equal to A bar cross B bar by mod of A bar cross B bar. So that means now that gives a unit vector perpendicular to both A bar and B bar, or it is a unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing A bar and B bar. So that means unit vector perpendicular to the plane containing A bar and B bar can be calculated easily with the help of this cross product of the two vectors here. So those are some applications of this cross product of the two vectors. So that means now there will be some problems finding the torque and finding the angular momentum just by using the cross product formula, and more problems will be there based on that in rotational mechanics topic. So here just by using this cross product application problems will be there. So just we need to apply that formulas based on that. That means R bar cross F bar will give the torque and R bar cross momentum P bar will give us angular momentum. So just to solve the problems based on that, right? And in the next class I will explain some problems based on this cross products, and just we need to discuss about the triple point also. Briefly I will explain that triple product of the vectors also, right? Thank you.